Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards about your future spouse and when, how, where you two will cross paths. So I do have one like this previously uploaded, but this is more focusing on like when you'll cross paths, not necessarily when you meet, because you might actually meet but have crossed paths prior to meeting. So I have 4 stacks for you all to choose from today. Starting over here, we have Labradorite, Rose Quartz. I hope this picks up. It's actually very pink in person. Obsidian, and then lastly, we have Moss Agate. You can choose 1 stack, multiple stacks. Just choose whatever you feel is actually meant for you. Always in the comment section, in the description box, there are timestamps. Like I've said, you can just click on those if you don't want to hear me ramble on, or don't want to wait throughout the rest of the video. So you can check those out, click on as many as you like, and we'll go ahead and get started. Starting with our first pile, we have this Labradorite over here. I wonder if I can get it to flash for you. Let me turn on the light and then you can see if it flashes. There it is. Okay, so sorry. We have that Labradorite over here. I've already laid out all the cards, so you don't have to wait and watch me lay them all out. So starting with this future spouse, pick a card, the first pile, and how you'll cross paths, when and where. I'll go over the cards quickly so you know what's out here. We have the 5 of Pentacles, the Moon, the King of Pentacles, Strength, the High Priestess, the 4 of Cups. The Moon has repeated itself over here with imagination and perception. The Chariot with discipline, determination. The Wheel of Fortune with changing possibilities, and the Tower, the High Priestess, and the Sun. We have the High Priestess here again. So with the Moon, the High Priestess, and the Sun, I want to say for you, this person is coming into your life in a noticeable way. I do feel strongly here with certain piles or certain cards within certain groupings that you've met this person, or you've crossed paths before, but I don't feel like you've actually been able to have that true connection with them. For some of you, this might be somebody from the past that you had a strong connection with or a strong attraction to, but was never able to like blossom, was never able to work out. Maybe you two had timelines that you both had something that you needed to complete and you couldn't complete it together, sort of like right person, wrong time vibes with this one. It could be somebody that is now returning because they're stable, or they're at a place where this relationship can actually work out. It could also be like a friend from the past, an acquaintance from the past, and you always wondered about them, like maybe there's something there between the two of you and it's able to sort of take off now. But there, for the most part, I feel like with many of you, this is a brand new person who's come through. I do feel like you, like currently, like as you're watching this, I think you have the energy, like you felt their energy before. It's almost like they've been in the same room as you, or they've been near you, and you've been aware of their existence, but you haven't quite been able to like reach out to them. And with the 5 of Pentacles starting off, then we have that Moon energy of like having knowledge but not having it like manifested before you. It's sort of like am I crazy or is this real? But I feel like this is coming through very fast for you, this person's arrival, the awareness of this person, who it is, because the Moon is turning into the High Priestess, where it's like a secretive knowledge. The Moon is something that's about to be revealed. We need the Sun in order for it to come to the light. We do have the High Priestess saying she's aware this is divinely guided for you, so it's protected. You don't have to worry about this. And then we have the Sun that is shining a light brightly on it. Not to mention, we have the 4 of Cups, which is like, this is something you cannot avoid. This is something that's coming toward you because it's the right place, right time. You have the Wheel of Fortune. It's like finally working out as perfectly as it can. This is like big, like they will walk into a room and immediately when you see them, you're like, that's the person. When you have conversation, you're like, this is the person. So I feel like that's like the major energy I'm getting, is you're going to know this person. Now, when it comes to these cards, since I do see a lot of like stable energy, and by that I mean there's a lot of major arcana with the Moon, the Chariot, the Wheel, the Strength card, High Priestess, the Tower, the High Priestess, and the Sun. We have what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so we have 9 major arcana out of 12 cards. So we're getting a strong energy. This to me has to do with your life timeline. This could be a work situation where you meet this person. I don't feel like it's a colleague for me. I'm not feeling like somebody you work with. It might be like through your job. So this might be a supplier for wherever you work. This could be somebody who has to like educate staff, or it's like somebody who comes in, you know, as like a third party, maybe a like a HR person that is hired as like a neutral party. It's something like that. But I feel like it's somebody who is impactful in your life. So it's something, it could be maybe a trip to the doctors, you know, annual checkup or something. That's where you meet them. A dentist. It's somebody who seems like they're in a very important aspect of your life. So something that you've been working heavily on lately. If you're going back to school, if you're in school, this could be a professor, teacher that's coming through. I don't feel like it's a direct, like they're your professor, they're your teacher. I feel like it's just somebody who you can go to for guidance, for tutoring, for help if it's in that education field. So it feels like somebody you run into. This could also be like maybe you're struggling with something and a friend introduces you to somebody who can help you. Maybe you're like filing paperwork and you need some help, and a friend says, oh, I know somebody who can do that. That's you know, the person that comes through. So it has this like helpful, educated, this person seems very like smart, very well off, or just really like they're a very capable person that's coming through. I do like that they're seemingly very like financially secure. They know a lot. They're a very calm person. I don't get like party vibes from this because we're not seeing a lot of like high energy within these cards. If I saw a ton of wands, I'd say, oh, you're gonna meet them at a party, you're gonna meet them at an outing, but I'm not feeling that. I feel more like one-on-one because of all these cards. We're not seeing large groups. Beside that one moon card, we're not seeing a ton of people, and I do feel like with that King of Pentacles, it's coming like toward you, almost like they're on the opposite side of the table, right? So it's one-on-one. Even the strength is coming toward you. We don't see the normal two people that would be present there. So it does seem like it's a meeting between the two of you. It might be over lunch, it could be dinner. I do feel like it's got possibly like a cafe or some sort of like lunchy environment. It might be at nighttime, since the majority of these cards are at night, with the Five of Pentacles, the moon. The Chariot gives me possible daytime, possible nighttime. But the High Priestess, Four of Cups, the Tower, the High Priestess again, they're all giving me nighttime. So it could be more like dinner, you know, and just like working things out. It could be like you hang out for quite a while and it goes from day to night, you know, that's that type of thing. But it's just feeling more really like one-on-one. Even though I feel like you're introduced to this person, it just gives me one-on-one. I like this person's vibe. They have a really nice energy, a very helpful sort of like, let me help you, you know, in whatever and any way I can. Because they want a brightness, you know, they want success for everyone. But I think that they genuinely feel the same way you do when you meet. So it gives them that sun vibe. So that's what I'm seeing here. It has a really great energy. It seems soon. And by soon, since I'm seeing these cycles coming through, it does feel like from the time you're watching this, it's giving me about 4 months that this person is coming through in a noticeable way. Might be like a little sooner, but I feel like 4 months, at least 4 months, that you get to know them. It doesn't mean that the relationship starts off in four months. It just means that like they enter your life in a noticeable way. But that's what I'm seeing with this first deck and that Labradorite. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting with our second stack here, we have this rose quartz over here. I really do hope this picks up pink. I've already laid out all the cards. I'll go over them quickly so that you know what's out here for your future spouse. Pick a card, and when it is, you'll cross paths, how it is, where it is. We have the Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, Temperance, the Four of Wands, the Sun, the Ten of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles with endurance and determination, the Five of Pentacles with persistence and possibilities, the Page of Swords with exploration and discovery, the Fool, Justice, and the Eight of Cups. So Lots of different energy coming out here. Good thing is I feel like their arrival is coming through pretty quick. Not feeling like it's the same exact speed as the previous stack, because the previous stack was like, it's coming through fast. This one, only because we have the Queen of Wands, that would be a faster card, but then we have that side energy of the Knight of Pentacles, which sort of slows things down. And it might be that it slows things down only to make sure that things are in proper alignment. You might meet this person and then it grows into a relationship. I'm leaning toward that because we have the Fool coming through first, which indicates a fresh start, but things still have to be balanced and put in the past. So it could be you're not quite over maybe an ex, maybe you're not quite where you want to be at this moment, and because of that, it might not be the right timing for this relationship to start, just because your guides, those who watch over you, want to make sure that you're in the right place, either emotionally, financially, mentally, whatever it may be. Leaning more toward financially, because you want your 10 of Cups in this situation, and we have some heavy pentacle energy. Could also be theirs, like maybe they're not quite done with something. Maybe if they're, if they've returned to school, maybe they still have a little more time to go, and it's not quite the timing for the relationship. So they might come through as a colleague, as a friend, and that's how things blossom and sort of like grow. And by the time that they're done, or you're done, whatever this previous journey is, then we can see this sort of harmony coming together. I love that across the top we have that quicker arrival. This gives me 6 months ish energy of their arrival, but then it's followed by the King of Cups, which might be about like 3 months after that. But Temperance comes in pretty good, so I'd say at the time you're watching this, probably about within the year or so, probably less, that this person's coming through, or within a year. I shouldn't say within the year, within a year. A year's time is when this person comes through. Now we do see it progress into a union within the Four of Wands. Now for some of you out there with Temperance coming through, it might be that you're having to decide between two people, or deciding on the right relationship. Now, good thing is we see the Eight of Cups, which is leaving one in the past, leaving the wrong thing in the past. So you're able to easily decide if that is you, which one to move forward with. And it is a good energy, because you're starting off fresh with that like brightness, with that like, nothing tying you down, nothing weighing on your mind, nothing holding you back. And then we move forward. Four of Wands is normally a marriage card. If you look at it in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith illustration, you would see them getting married. The community behind them is like super psyched. They're pumped to see this couple, everybody's supportive. And that's what I'm seeing there for you. It's like this clarity on what is right for you, this harmony. The sun coming out, it's like beautiful. It's saying everything's going to be great for you. And the 10 of Cups. So we're seeing a true timeline within a year of your life, of everything falling into place, and your 10 of Cups being clear for you. Like you can actually see them. You can see everything you're hoping for. So when it comes to this, when it comes to like I said, I feel like they're coming through, but it doesn't necessarily scream romance at first. So I think more colleague in this situation. We are seeing finances. That could mean somebody that you work with. This could be somebody who maybe helps you out financially. This could be a lawyer. Maybe if you're going to them for guidance, for help, information on something. This could be a city official, or a government official. Maybe if you need some extra information, or you're just, maybe you're trying to figure things out, maybe start your own business, or get something going for yourself, and you go to somebody for help. It's sort of similar to the previous stack, but I'm feeling more so like this one is somebody who is on the same level as you, like they're going through the same process, or they're just like they're able to provide support for you because they sort of like been there, and already sort of know what to do. With that Eight of Cups, it does feel like somebody you're having a lot of conversations with. This could also be somebody who's at a distance from you. This could be if you're in like a online course. That could be somebody who's just like a classmate, but far from you. It could be somebody that maybe you're talking to online. I mean, it could be something like, sometimes when the swords come out, we don't really have a lot of swords. It could be an online a relationship, like somebody who's teaching you the ropes on like something like a video game or something. But it does feel like somebody who's coming through. They seem to be pretty close to you in age. The other one, for some reason, I was feeling a little bit of a gap, but not so much with this one. But they just seem to be one. This person likes to communicate. They like to make sure that you're talking, that you two are expressing yourselves, that you're on the same page, that you know what's going on, and that like both sides are aware of like the status of the relationship, and like basically how you feel, you know, what it is you want in the future, just so that there's no like confusion. Because I think this person, like, they want everything you want, and I don't think they've come across anybody who's wanted the same things as them, so they're just, you know, really wanting to make sure, because you give them a brightness that they haven't had before. But when it comes to where, it doesn't scream like in public around a lot of people, and I do feel like you two are more likely to stumble across each other rather than being introduced to each other. It feels more like you just talk to each other. That's why I was saying it might be somebody long distance, maybe somebody online, maybe in a community, a group online, and you just, you know, bond really well over something. And you know, you have to travel to meet each other, and that's why you might see the the Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Those are normally lengthy journeys, or journeys in general. But I feel like this is, like I said, within a year's time that you come across each other. And it does feel like it's giving me like they're on their way if they haven't already made themselves known. It just feels like they're on their way with this Five of Crystals or this Five of Pentacles. It just has this like this movement. There's movement already. It's just sort of like hidden away, and the sun's coming out, and you're gonna get this fantastic dreamed up future that you didn't think was possible, but it's definitely coming through for you. But that's what I'm seeing when it comes to this stack. I mean, when I see it, I don't really see any place in particular where you'll meet. It could be like because you have to travel to see each other, basically anywhere. But it just seems like a good energy. That's what I'm seeing here with this second stack and that rose quartz. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting with our second pile, we have this obsidian over here. I've already laid out all the cards. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's out on the table. Starting over here, we have the Eight of Swords, Justice, the Ace of Swords, the Two of Wands, the Daughter of Pentacles. This would be the Page of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Nine of Swords with perspective and self-empowerment, the Star with peace and healing, the Sun with vitality and joy, the Six of Swords, Eight of Wands, and Apprentice of Wands. This would also be the Page of Wands. So it's interesting when I'm looking at this, because so far all these piles, if I'm remembering correctly, have the sun in it. And I love that they're all coming out with the sun, because it's like for all you guys who are stumbling across this video, you're all ending up with just a fantastic future. And it's so awesome to see that, because the sun is definitely what we all need in our lives. Now, for this pile, I'm getting a little different energy about how you crossed it, or how you'll cross paths when and where, because for some reason, for some of you, this might not be for all of you, but for some of you, I do feel like you've already met this person. I think this person either came into your life briefly, because we have the Eight of Swords. It can have a quick energy, but it can leave like a lasting effect on you, meaning it can be something that stays with you for a long time. Like you think back to that person, like, was that person the one? Or, you know, why am I constantly thinking about that person? Why is that person still weighing on my mind? Why is it, you know, I still get these memories, but I feel like it almost feels like it was either taken away from you, and like you never even got the chance to see what it was, or it was something where you're like, it's not the time yet. Like you knew it wasn't, you know, the moment for you to be together, so you sort of had to back off on it. But I do feel strongly like there's several of you that have stumbled across this one, and you're like, you know, I know this person, or I've met this person, and I have this energy toward this person, and I just want to know, you know, like basically who it is, where they are, why it didn't work out. So this is a quick moving energy, and it feels like whatever is two from here, and I say that because we have the Ace of Swords, but it's two here, and then we have the Two of Wands, so they're like right next to each other. We have Justice, and then this one, Justice, is 11, so we have two, 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 so we're getting a lot of like repeats, 11, 11, 11, coming through, and I'm seeing that as like it's the right time, it's the right time, it's the right time. We're seeing movement from the Eight of Swords to the Nine of Swords, so you're removing yourself from that situation. You might still be thinking about it, but we go from that situation into the Hermit, right? So we're seeing that progress that's being made. We're seeing a change in things. We're seeing a lot of different things that can come out. You know, there's a lot of energy that's swapping, and it's interesting to me because sometimes justice can be labeled as 8, and we have that change from the Eight of Swords into Justice, but instead of being labeled as an 8, we see it labeled as an 11. So it's just reading to me as a very interesting story that's unfolding very quickly. These things are changing for you. So we have like this journey that's like swapping over. You're swapping energies, you're letting things go so that this person can arrive into your life. So I do feel strongly like you've met this person. It might have been like a temporary thing, it might have been something that lasted a while, but I feel like there was some healing, some time away from this person, just some isolation that was needed. We have that in both the Hermit and the Star. It's just like it's some time for you to do what you need to do in order to move forward. We have that swap from the Eight of Swords, like I said, into the into the Nine of Swords, but we also have it swapping into the Eight of Wands, which is sort of like movement into a more empowered stage in your life, and them too. So it's interesting, the energy that I'm getting. But mainly I would say because of that, I do feel like there's either a return. Now, for those of you who are like, and nobody's coming back, you know, this could be a brand new energy. And once you release this, like you're done with whatever self-reflection, shadow work journey you've been on, and you've been on it for a while. Like you've been waiting for this journey to be done. If that's you, we do see that you've healed. You are in finally your healed stage. You're in your peaceful stage, so you can move forward. Of course, you're always going to need more healing. You know, that's just part of the universe, but you can move forward, and that's finally it. We're seeing a rush of energy coming into your life. There's a lot of movement. So I do feel like either way, whether or not you actually know this person, or you know, never came across this person, seemingly I do feel like their energy has been in your life. You might just not know it yet, but there does seem to be I don't know why, but I just thought of that post online of that person that was like, my husband and I were at the same place at the same time when we were this age, and it was a picture of them when they were like 5 at like Disney World or something, and they had taken a picture unknowingly of the other person. Like they both had pictures of the other person, and that's sort of what it's like reminding me of right now. So that might be your case, but I feel like this person's coming back through. For some reason with this, it does feel like it's a spontaneous communication that's coming through. This could be by phone. This could be a message. This could be actually just walking into each other, because we have some wand energy coming through between the Two of Wands and the Page of Wands. That could just be something where you just, you know, you see the other person walking along. I do feel like this is more out and about that I'm seeing it. If you do walk into each other, it doesn't feel like in a building. It could just be like a fair. It could be an amusement park, a song festival, something, you know, where you're out around people. I don't feel like a large group is around you or around them, but it just has like you're just out in open air when it comes to this. So it's, I think this person has this way of just like grabbing your attention. This person sort of stands out in a crowd, and there is like with this stack in particular, this person's like soul has a pull. You are drawn to this person. Their energy just pulls you in. And there's something that's very undeniable about the connection that's between the two of you, where it stands out. Like you feel, you know, whatever it is. You feel their aura. You feel whatever it is that's coming off of them. And it just, there's a connection there. And definitely it brings you, it's like so much, but I do feel like strongly, like this one in particular, I feel like this pile, you've met each other or something. There's been some sort of previous connection. It could even be a previous life that I'm seeing here. You know, if you believe in previous lives, it could just be that energy that's coming through, and it's like it's time for your reconnection to come through. So that's what I'm seeing here with the second stack and that obsidian. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting with our fourth pile here, we have this moss agate. Hope you can see it well. So I've laid out all the cards. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's on the table for your future spouse. How will you cross paths, when and where. Reading. Starting over here, we have the Hanged Man, we have the Queen of Swords, the Sun, the Father of Cups. This would be the King of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Lovers, the Eight of Wands with energy and results, the High Priestess with intuition and sacred knowledge. We have the Hanged Man with patience and perspective, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and lastly, we have the Four of Cups. So all four piles have the sun, and for some reason, when I saw that it was the sun, the first thing I thought of was, oh, a solar eclipse. So I'm not sure who that's for, if that's for all of you. I'm not sure, but somebody is definitely going to meet this person during a solar eclipse or some sort of like planetary alignment, something that has to do with the stars, the skies. It could even be like a meteor shower, something big, you know, that's like everybody goes out to look at. And that might also be a location. It might be a good place to look at the sky or look at the stars from wherever you are. Just a nice place. This doesn't have to be like an observatory or something fancy. This could just be like the desert or a place that's like a bit of a, you know, a journey out to, but you know, there's no like light pollution or anything. And you could see it well, you know, like on top of a mountain or something. Somewhere where it's very visible, very clear. Now, we do have some fast movement coming in with this person. This is some strong energy here. The other piles had like a uniqueness to them. This one in particular is really coming through to me as like this person is like right there. And I'm not sure if it's like literally like right there, like with the have you crossed paths? I feel like yes. But maybe you haven't quite like seen each other. Like maybe you haven't looked up and seen it, like look eye contact, you know, that could be the case. But here it's like it's like they're there. Like for some reason it's like they're actually present around you. Like it doesn't mean like at this moment if you're like laying in bed and you look around, there's nobody there. But like when it comes to maybe like going to the store or walking down the street, maybe going to work, whatever, it feels like they are there. You know, they're somewhere significant to you. You just haven't met them yet. Like you haven't actually been able to communicate with the other person. So this is where it's coming through. I do feel like somebody's going to introduce you to this person because of the sun's energy in this stack in particular. Also the Four of Cups, it could be at like a cafe, it could be like if you're at school, it could be like a cafeteria, or work, it could be a cafeteria as well. We also have the Ace of Cups coming through. This seems like more like a surrounding, I don't know if you could see it, but there's like a ton of little birds that are sort of like talking to each other, communicating, whatever, but it seems like they're in a group. So it does feel like there are multiple people around you. There seems to be some sort of interaction. I don't really feel like you're alone in this situation, so that's where it's coming through. But I do feel like you do get an opportunity to sort of like have a one-on-one conversation. Now, with the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords coming out as two different royals, I'm not really feeling that for some reason. Not really feeling that as a couple. I'm sort of feeling it as the vibes to this relationship. So it seems like it's faster moving into like this person's arrival. Like I'm saying, like it's about to be revealed. We see that with the High Priestess as well. It's being revealed. The Hanged Man is coming out twice here, and the Hanged Man normally is a reevaluation of a situation. It could just be like taking a second to breathe in, breathe out. Now, since it's coming out twice, it does feel like it's on both sides, your side and this person's side, of maybe you know, trying to look at the situation from a different angle. This could also be for some of you, very few of you, this could be a friend, and then for some reason you think, you know, this person might be, you know, my soulmate. This person might be the one that I'm meant to be with permanently. This person has a connection with me that like no one else has ever had. And like as you begin to reevaluate that, you know, begin to look at this person different, and so do they. So it seems like here with those two cards, like I said, for a few of you, it just feels like there might possibly be some sort of realization that there's more. This could also be of like, you know, broadening your horizons, or maybe putting yourself out a little more, and them too, and that's how you're able to meet each other. Like maybe you're not necessarily knowing what to look for, or maybe you're not looking for somebody, maybe you don't know what it is you're looking for, and then it becomes clear to you. So I feel like there's a lot of different ways to interpret that, but it feels to me like those are the sort of like key ways of interpreting that. This person seems to sort of approach you with the Ace of Cups coming through. It could be that they approach you, or they're the ones that sort of offer communication, some sort of openness to you. So you feel like you're being acknowledged by them, or that you're being told like this is what they want. I don't know, like confirmation or something from this person. But my favorite card to come out sometimes when it comes to well, especially when it comes to meeting somebody, or you know, like work, spouse, future things that are coming toward you, one of my favorite cards is the Four of Cups over here. So it's my favorite card because there's always this, like when I see it, I'm like, you can't miss this. It's definitely in front of you, you know, it's something you cannot avoid. You won't be able to like think, oh, I lost that opportunity, or what if I missed out on the right one. You won't, because it's there, it's handed to you. The right one is like placed before you, and it just stands out like the Ace of Cups, like the King of Cups here. It's standing out in front of you. It's moving forward. There's a brightness, and you have the Lovers with that instant soulmate connection. And this is the only pile that came out with the Lovers. And this one is reading true, like true soulmate energy within this one, like the one that is finally there, and you've been waiting so long for it. And in several of the piles, we have the rainbows within like multiple cards. This is the only one that got the rainbow in it of these three cards. So it's sort of signifying that it's like the wait is over, the person's arriving. Now, there's like this, like, I want to say like a quickness that's coming through. It seems like I said, like there's either group, it might not even be like a big group. It could just be maybe you and your friends go out somewhere to eat, and that's where you meet them. Or maybe there's, you know, for somebody, this has a lot of sword energy in it, so, or more sword energy. So it could be that maybe like you meet in an online group or something, and maybe like a forum or something, and that's where you come across each other. And for some reason, I've actually been seeing a lot of people meeting online lately, and like meeting online and then finally seeing each other in person, and it's just like they seem to be really doing well. So that's the energy I'm getting. I like this person's vibes. They seem to be like, I don't know, the way that they approach you, the way that they interact with people, it's just got a really nice vibe to it. Well, that's what I'm seeing with this fourth stack and this moss agate over here. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.